So this is the most obvious. We a lot of times we use 50% as like, don't give me somebody over 50% rostered. You just wasted my time. So I'm kind of straddling the fence here. But Jorge Mateo is at
Yeah.
50% rostered. I know the average isn't going to be great, but you get category juice. Since the beginning of last year, 15 home runs, 39 stolen bases. He already has 4 this year. And although the Red Sox helped Baltimore in that first series, the Orioles have sounded the alarm that they're going to run as much as they can. Jorge Mateo comes out of the dugout with the green light. I
Hmm.
don't know. I talked about Gallo earlier. Like, Gallo legitimately could wreck your average. I just think Mateo's going to ding your average a little bit. You just have to make up for it a little bit elsewhere. But I think he'll hit enough to stay in the lineup. And if somebody is filling the home run and stolen base columns, again, we call it category juice. If somebody gives you category juice, I really don't matter. It doesn't matter to me what the rest of the player profile is. I think he should be rostered in every mixed league.
Yeah, and I think a couple of maybe it was last week, we each picked a player outside the top 200 who could be a top 100 player. Given the environment that we've seen in this short time, this 5 6 days so far in the season, Jorge Mateo could be one of those guys. I mean, he could legitimately steal 50 plus bases this year and hit double digit homers too, and that might be good enough to be a top 100 player this year. So I agree. I think he should be rostered pretty much everywhere. Next up for me is someone I'm looking at more as a maybe someone you make a call on a weekly basis, or if it's a situation where you can make daily lineup changes. Jurickson Profar. He's available in 80% of Yahoo leagues. Off to a slow start after signing late in spring training. Got a late start on the season, in fact, just 1 for 11 thus far, but it's understandable he would need some time to shake the rust as he gets back in the swing of game action here. But fact is, he's projected to be the regular leadoff hitter for the Rockies, playing left field every day. And this is a great time to jump on board. The Rockies will begin a 7 game homestand on Thursday. That starts with 4 games against the Nationals. So you want to jump in on that as the Rockies presumably will score some runs against that Nationals pitching staff, which looks pretty rough. The Rockies, in fact, will play 10 out of their next 13 games at Coors Field. So even if you aren't overly excited about what Profar can do over a full season, you'll probably want to take a shot on him for now.
Yeah, location, location, location. Managing the Colorado schedule is one of the most important things we do as fantasy managers, especially in those weekly leagues. And Profar, by OPS Plus, was a plus offensive player in 2022 and 2020. So I think his run with the Padres was maybe a little bit better than expected.
Yeah.
This will not be the last time you hear me say post-hype sleeper on this show. I know Profar, maybe it's too late in his career to think that there's a great upside here, but at
Yeah.
one point he was the number 1 prospect in baseball. Also, he only qualifies at one spot right now, but he's played so
Sure.
many places on the field. If injuries happen, maybe the Rockies move him around. So you might get some some positional juice with Profar later on in the season. But the bottom line is this: if you are hitting near the top of a Colorado Rockies lineup, you're relevant in fantasy, at least during the home schedule. You're going to look for those weeks when the home slate bunches up. As you said, there's one coming. There's a glorious Colorado homestand on the way. So Jurickson Profar is back in our lives.